these are operational OPSEC decisions that you're making in real time to kind of limit what you're putting out there publicly in the early days and so on. Understandable.
Yeah. And then on the other
Anyway,
side, I see it's like what is actually useful too, right? Like, so if we find something and we know it was sent to like, or we know it was a small number of users and it was targeting like a specific, group of activists or whatever, and we've taken it down in safe browsing, we've got the thing patched, whatever. So just like producing exactly, and it was taken down and it's not there anymore, it's not a valid IOC. Like how useful is that? The specific details, not necessarily as useful as some people make out, but we're always making that
if I'm a CISO, right, but if I'm the CISO at a security program and my company is potentially might be exposed there, and I want to go do some retro hunting to see if this thing may have been in my organization, and you can't help me. You tell me that a guy is like, if I'm an aerospace guy, you tell me these guys are interested in aerospace and so on. I'm in that victim profile, and then I'm kind of sitting around. There is no sample. There's no data from you to help me go hunting, and now I feel like. And that's the argument. I feel like you left me in this kind of...
Yeah, and I think you'll see now that we do a lot more IOCs. We are doing a lot more. We have come a long way in this. But again, it's just the trade-offs I talked about, right? And we try and do that. We also do a lot more, specifically, we reach out a lot to specific targets as well. So, and we do a lot behind the scenes and a lot in trusted forms too. So just because somebody, sometimes we have to work with...
That you do agree that you can do better.
I think everybody can do better at anything. But yes, I think we can do better at this. I think we are getting better at this, and we will continue to get better at this, and we're investing more into it. Yes.
Can we talk a little bit about...
pretending we're perfect on this topic?
No, it's okay. I don't want to pick a fight with you. It's like I can't have Shane on the podcast and not ask about release of IOCs, because this is a running thing. Whenever you guys on Project Zero put out blog posts, I mean, the Uyghur stuff, it was kind of, even the forced entry stuff, like there isn't a sample available outside of what Google might have or the Citizen Lab people might have. And the rest of us feel like we're in the dark. So it's just a conversation piece.
Totally understood. We'll try and do more. Don't always assume we don't always have details too, right? Sometimes we're getting criticized of like, sometimes we know what we know. Like I think we're damn good at what we do.
Just more data to help the rest of us go hunting. That's all. I mean, I don't think that's like a ridiculous...
I'll take the request back to the team. Yeah.
I want to ask about private sector offensive actors before I let you go, because your team has put in a lot of work into kind of tracking. The big one, obviously, is NSO Group, and there's lawsuits and so on happening there. But there's also a bunch of others in the Israeli ecosystem, including here in the West, including in the US and so on. How do you view that? You mentioned it earlier, but how do you view that industry? Is it expanding? Has the NSO noise and drama kind of put things on pause? Help me understand what you know about this ecosystem, and not only in Israel, but here in the US, where there have been names called as well.
Yeah, I don't think this industry is like, collapsing in any way so far, unfortunately. Well, I do...
It's profitable, right?
It's very profitable, right? If you look at some of the numbers, like I still almost can't believe some of the numbers about, like how much it's advanced. If you look back to say things like 10 years ago with the Finfisher people who are apparently now bankrupt, like, they were talking about like millions of dollars, and you start looking at some of the fairly big numbers of NSO. This is, incredibly profitable industry. So I don't think you're going to shut it down. I think the pressure will make things harder, and I think we're starting along that path. But the moment, I'd say what we're seeing more is sort of like reforming, people shifting around. I will say on these ecosystems are actually very complicated, and it's true for the Indian hacker for hire stuff too, right? Like it's hard to draw a line between these companies and people as they move around, as they reform, they do new entities. And I think that's same if are you tracking the individuals as they move from company to company, or the actual underlying actors? And that's actually quite difficult. So I don't think it's going away. I think the pressure is increasing, and I think that it's going to become tougher to operate. And what I've told other people as well is that, like, I'd be wary of getting into this industry if you're a hacker. It might pay well in the short term, but like I think what we're seeing at the moment with like indictments, with like further pressure, and what it looks like on your resume, I would encourage any of the listeners to think very carefully before pursuing this as a profession.
Yeah, and It's really interesting space because I feel like again it ties back to the earlier argument about where places people feel that this is legitimate use of code to go after certain types of targets. So like there's a certain mentality thing
Yeah, but
there.
there's also a lot of
You're
illegitimate
saying
use
this
cases we're
doesn't
seeing as well, right? Like, these actors are
oh
claiming that it's all
100%.
going after terrorists or whatever, but then, again and again, people like Citizen Lab are exposing that, like, their targeting goes well beyond what, like, I think the society would agree is useful use of this technology.
Let me close on this, Shane. You and I are going to have this conversation again in a year, 1 year from today. Do you see things better? Do you see things status quo, or are you like me that thinks everything is just it's a lost cause and we're just chasing our tails?
I think some things will be better. I don't think everything will be better, but I think you'll be able to look back in 12 months' time and say that certain things have certainly got better and certain actors were disrupted. I do think you'll have a whole bunch new exciting incidents and a whole bunch of bad things that went wrong that shouldn't have gone wrong and things we could have done better as well. I'm not going to solve it in the year, but I think some bits will have gone better.
Can I ask quickly? I know I mentioned that was the last question, but North Korea. North Korea, Chrome O days, targeting security researchers using fake pen test type companies. You guys have been very, very closely tracking them. There's a certain mindset around North Korea, no skills, like unsophisticated actor going after cryptocurrency people. What is real as it relates to the strength, the posture of the North Korean threat actor ecosystem? Are they to be taken seriously? Are we like help me understand?
Absolutely should be taken seriously, right? Like, people think about this like, oh yeah, North Korea can't do that or whatever, and undermining them, right? But like, doing this hacking stuff and doing this hacking stuff is not that hard, right? Getting people together, like, and who are like some smart college age kids and like putting on pen testing training, learning these technical things, like, that's all you need to build one of these capabilities, right? And I joke that like building an APT capability is not rocket science. And North Korea has rocket science, right? Like, these people can build
True.
intercontinental ballistic missiles and like nuclear weapons, but we're surprised that they can do pen
Right.
testing and hacking type stuff. Like, it's not that surprising. It's not that hard to do this hacking stuff, unfortunately. So yeah, they definitely are a serious actor, and they're very prolific. And going all the way back to the Sony hack, they are also reckless in what they do, right? So in some ways, they're a more scary actor because they don't have the constraint, the restraint that some of the more mature powers do. So I think everybody should be taking North Korea very serious in this space.
All right, Shane, I'll leave it there. That's 40 minutes of strong, strong content. Thank you very much for coming on, sharing your expertise. And in exactly a year, come back. Let's see if the pessimist in me gets changed. I hope
I hope
so.
so too. So been lots of fun. Great talking to you.
Thank you, Shane.